is medicine. When I said that 30 plus years ago, people would roll their eyes back up in their head. But today, that truth is pretty widely accepted. So now that we have arrived at this consensus, the next question is, how do we use food on a daily basis in our meals to sustain great health and to also use it as medicine? Today, I want to talk about the mighty olive tree in both of those capacities. My name is Andrea. I am a longtime naturopathic practitioner and registered nurse, and I have used olive leaves in my practice to facilitate healing for decades. Let's start by looking at what it can do for us in the realm of healing and prevention. When I think of the olive tree, I immediately think antiviral, although it does so many, many more things than that. And, with COVID loose in the world and who knows what's coming next, we need something we can count on. Also, we have to recognize that when using chemical medications, there's always a price to pay. And I don't mean financially, although there is that, but there are usual multiple and sometimes horrible side effects that come along with that. And, right up to and including death. And if you watch these commercials, they give you a long laundry list of all of the things that can go wrong. But they say it with such an upbeat attitude. Typically, side effects are downplayed for sure. And honestly, if a lot of people died from taking them, it would be taken off the market. And that we know has happened multiple times in the past. But I can't tell you how many times clients have come to me and they've told me that they got a prescription med from their doctor and it helped their symptoms, but they just feel horrible in general. They don't feel like themselves. They don't feel good anymore. They are maybe tired all the time, whatever the issue is. But again, there's always that trade-off, always that price you pay with pharmaceuticals. Now, I'm not saying that we shouldn't ever use them, but I do think as a society, we have totally bought into the pharmaceutical mindset of a pill for every ill. And the quick fix mentality that allows us to keep doing all the things we're doing that's degrading our health, but we can take a magic pill and we're good to go. And I think if we look at the health statistics for this country in general, we will see that has not worked well for us at all. So naturals are definitely a safe and viable option to include in your healthcare plan, but they are there to support you while you do the right things. At the end of the day, if you want great health, then you have to do what the body wants and needs. And this channel is dedicated to making sure that everyone understands what it really is the body wants and needs, because sometimes that's not always obvious. I am always amused when there is a new scientific discovery of a natural medicine. Olive leaves were used in ancient Egypt, ancient Greece, ancient China for a number of things. In the Middle Ages, the medical nun Hildegard von Bingen used olive leaf tea to lower blood pressure and also for GI upsets. In the early 1800s, the war between France and Spain, they made olive leaf tea to reduce dangerously high fevers in soldiers. So if we start to come into more current times, in the late 60s, the Upjohn Company, which was a pharmaceutical company that ultimately got bought out by Pfizer, they did a lot of research on olive leaf and a lot of the many viruses that we know it works against comes out of some of that research. But they were also looking to see, how safe is it? And as it turns out, it is incredibly safe for humans, unless, of course, you happen to have some kind of allergy to any olive tree products. But that would be a rarity. So looking at more current research, olive leaves have been proven effective against a seemingly endless list of viruses, bacteria, fungi, and other pathogens. And I used it to protect myself from COVID when COVID first came around, and from all of the following mutations as well. And I just assumed it would be effective, even though there was no research to support it. Because unlike a vaccine, which has to know the exact strain in order to be effective, for olive leaf, a virus is a virus is a virus. So interestingly enough, throughout the COVID, the COVID years, maybe we should say, they used olive leaf in the hospital. They gave clients olive leaf tincture, some COVID clients olive leaf tincture. And what they found is that it dramatically improved their clinical status, and they had shorter hospital stays than the control group that was not receiving olive leaf tincture. So research backed me up on that. Also, it was shown to be effective against cytokine storm. And that's huge, because what that is that's an insane overreaction from the body that made so much inflammation. We saw this during the COVID epidemic. Bodies just went crazy, and they started cranking out so much inflammation in response to COVID, and it became deadly. And they didn't know what to do with that. They couldn't stop it. So it's looking like olive leaf tincture may have some positive impact there as well. Another fascinating finding is that olive leaf may be able to control both the cellular dysfunction and the oxidative stress that leads to inflammation, that is part of the normal age-related changes that happen as we get older. And so what that means is that could lead to a healthier aging process and way better health in old age. So this is all pretty exciting stuff. I use olive leaf in tincture form because it is more potent than crushed up leaves stuffed in a capsule. And liquid is always easier for the body to use. So remember, you don't get points for just putting it in there. The body has to be able to use it once it gets in there. And particularly as we age, we don't break things down as well. So liquid is definitely the way to go. And if you'd like to know how I make and take olive leaf tincture, there is a link in the description where I did a video on that, on an instructional video for that. So here's some other amazing things that current research is showing us about olive leaf tincture. It may stop the growth of cancer, reduce the risk of obesity, helps kill, yeast, virus, bacteria, fungi. Those are things we pretty much knew. Lowers blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, and can protect the brain from Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. So, this is absolutely a miraculous plant that we have been given. So how are we going to use this? As a preventive, and to gain the greatest general health benefits from it, we're not going to take an olive leaf tincture every day, 365 days of the year. That's the medicinal part. What we're going to do is use the products from the olive tree and incorporate them into our meals every day on an ongoing basis. And that is going to every day give us those health benefits. And if you're eating a Mediterranean diet, then you're probably already doing this to a great extent. And the goal is to use olives and olive oil in your diet on a regular basis. So I included a link to a website, Manny. These are the olive people. And it's an outstanding website. And it's got recipes using olives and olive oil to get you started. But it's also a fabulous resource to learn anything you could ever want to know about olives and olive oil. Some general rules would include using cold pressed olive oil. So that would be virgin or extra virgin oil. And the reason we want to do that is because they are going to contain higher amounts of the antioxidant and anti-inflammatory polyphenols. And you know, I've been saying since the last century that the 21st century is the disease of the 21st century is going to be inflammation. So anything we can do to help control inflammation is going to be a huge boost to our overall health. Now, if you are cooking with olive oil, or any oil for that matter, once you reach the smoke point, and that is, you know, if you are driving down the road in summer and it's really hot out and you're looking ahead of you and you see that just shimmering light hovering over top of the tarmac, over top of the asphalt, you don't want to see that in your pan when you're heating oil, because you're getting to the smoke point. And what that means is not only are you going to lose the health benefits of the oil, but they can become harmful at that point and even carcinogenic. And all different oils have different smoke points. The smoke point for olive oil is around 180 degrees Celsius or 356 degrees Fahrenheit. Better practices would be using olive oil cold without heating it. So you can drizzle it over salads. You can mix it with herbs and use it as a dip for pita bread or yogurt bread, any flat bread or sourdough. So yummy. Or veggies. I mean, you can put olive oil over anything and really get those added benefits. And don't forget olives. The fruit of the olive tree also contains a lot of wonderful nutrients like the polyphenols. So again, we're back to those antioxidants, anti-inflammatories, but also it has unsaturated fats, vitamins, fatty acids. And interestingly enough, the different types of olives and the different color of olives have different health properties. So, you know, you can switch them up. The green olives contain the oleuropein, which is the antiviral component that I love so much. Since food is medicine, we should use it daily for health maintenance, and we want to use it as close to the way nature provided it as we can. That is always a rule of thumb. And I strongly urge you to incorporate these products from the olive tree into your life on a regular basis if you're not doing that already. Well, I hope you enjoyed learning about one of my all-time favorite foods/medicines. I will see you in the next video. And until then, I am wishing you endless health and happiness.